All right, what's up, everybody? Brian here, and this is my Impact Wrestling debut episode on the Pursuit Channel recap for last night's episode of Impact Wrestling. So let's get right into it. Of course, last night's episode featured the fallout of this past Sunday's homecoming pay-per-view event that took place in Nashville at the Asylum. A lot of questions going into last night's episode as to, like I said, what would the fallout be from Sunday's homecoming. We started off Impact with a highlight video featuring some of the action from Sunday's homecoming event. If you guys have not checked that out, I would recommend checking it out because I thought it was a really good event with a lot of good matches. So we started off Impact after that highlight video with the current Impact World Champion, Johnny Impact, who on Sunday retained his title in some people's mind, controversial fashion over Brian Cage in a match that saw Brian Cage hit Johnny Impact with the drill claw, having him beat for like 10 seconds, but because Johnny's two Survivor castmates were at ringside, and they distracted the referee, and that was pretty much it for that one. But last night's episode, Johnny came out. He talked about what happened at the end of Homecoming, where Killer Kross attacked both him and his wife, Taya Valkyrie, power bombing and tossing Taya into the third row at ringside, or but near the ramp. He talked about how he wanted to get revenge on Killer Kross. Brian Cage would come out and say that that's what's important to you. That's what's important to you is, your wife. You know that I beat you. You know that I had you beat. I should be champion right now. All that stuff. Basically saying that he wanted a rematch. Johnny told him, you want a rematch? Before he could give him an answer, Killer Kross would come out. This would lead to a big brawl between Johnny and Killer Kross that would see Brian Cage hit Johnny with a discus clothesline. Then a stare down between Killer Kross and Brian Cage. Kross would hit Cage with a clothesline, but Cage would get right back up. All this other stuff, and basically this was the end of this segment. Then in a clip that they showed that happened during the break, they showed Johnny Impact being confronted by Brian Cage. Cage saying he wanted a rematch. Johnny said, you'll get your rematch. Let me deal with Killer Kross first. They then would announce that the main event for later on in the show would be Johnny Impact in a non-title match taking on Killer Kross in a no disqualification match. So that was the main event of last night's episode. We saw a solid tag team match to open the show as far as action is concerned. It was between the Rascals and the Lucha Brothers. The Rascals were represented by Wentz and Dez, who the third person of that trio was Trey Miguel, who was involved in Ultimate X on Sunday. But Wentz and Dez, they took on the Lucha Brothers, Pentagon Jr., and Phoenix. This was a really exciting tag match, a very fast-paced match from beginning to end. Both teams, I thought, really delivered in this one. So the Lucha Brothers would pick up the win over a very game the Rascals. I expect big things for the Rascals as well as the Lucha Brothers heading into this year, 2019. The the Lucha Brothers coming off their loss at Homecoming in their tag title match against the champions LAX. They needed a big win here to build their momentum back up again, to maybe go for, to maybe get another shot at the titles, because their match with LAX was really exciting on Sunday. But so yeah, they picked up the win over the Rascals, Wentz and Dez. So that was a big victory. After the match, in a sign of sportsmanship, they hugged the Rascals, and Lucha Brothers hugged it out. They shook hands. They raised each other's hands as a sign of, like I said, sportsmanship. So big things for both of these tag teams in 2019, hopefully. We had a in-ring interview with the brand new X Division champion, Rich Swann, who won the championship in the Ultimate X 4-Way at Homecoming, defeating Trey Miguel, Jake Crist, and Ethan Page. He came out, he talked about the X Division being not about weight limits, but about being about no limits. He mentioned former champions like Low Ki, Sanjay Dutt, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe. He talked about Nashville, the Asylum, and the history that's been made there. He would then be interrupted by Sami Callihan, who would come out, and for some reason they're doing this storyline where Sami and Rich Swann have like history, some kind of history there. I don't know what's going on. I mean, I've been watching Impact, but all of a sudden they're just doing the storyline now where Sami and Rich have some kind of history. He would then Sami would then offer Rich Swann an OVE shirt, telling him to do the right thing, put the shirt on, and come home to where you belong. All this stuff. Willie Mack would come out, and this would set up the second match of the night as far as matches. Willie Mack versus Sami Callihan in a Homecoming rematch. This one was really exciting. I thought this was a really good match between these two. I did think it was a little bit better than their match at Homecoming. Not much, but I thought it was a little bit better. One part of this matchup saw Sami Callihan and Willie Mack end up on the stage. Sami would deliver a pile driver on Willie, and somehow Willie survived that and crawled back to the ring and got back in the ring before the count of 10. That meant the match would continue, and Willie Mack would wind up picking up the victory over Sami Callihan in this matchup and avenging his loss at Homecoming on Sunday. So, but I'm a little intrigued to see where this storyline of Sami Callihan, Rich Swann, and this whole history thing that they have, where that goes. Let's see where that goes to. We had the Scarlett Bordeaux strip show. Scarlett Bordeaux, she came out. She cut a promo talking about Nashville being a crazy town, being they like to get wild. She talked about how Impact Wrestling said that when they moved to the Pursuit channel that they would be more edgier. And she proceeded to take off the robe she had on, but the Desi Hit Squad would come out and interrupt, basically saying that they know that she's going to pick them to be her talent search winner that she's been having for the last couple of months since she made her debut. All this different stuff. Scott Steiner would make his return. He would wind up laying out wind up laying out two members of the Desi Hit Squad. He would then think he was going to get a lap dance, but would wind up getting a kiss on the cheek from Scarlett. And that was pretty much it for that whole segment. Scarlett did announce that next week she's going to announce the winner of the talent search, of her talent search, so that'll be interesting to see who she picks. We saw the former, or we also had there was a segment involving Su Yung and Allie, or Dark Allie, as she is now being referred to by some, where they were standing in front of a coffin, and they would get a message from Rosemary on the coffin saying that basically it was directed towards Allie to rejoin the Shadow. And of course, Rosemary made her return at Homecoming on Sunday night. So that's going to be interesting to see how this whole storyline plays out between Rosemary, Allie, and Su Yung. We saw the former Knockouts champion Tessa Blanchard in action, of course coming off the heels of losing her championship to Taya Valkyrie, due in small part, or a big part, to Gail Kim, who was the special referee in that matchup at Homecoming on Sunday night. She took on Callie Collins. She basically beat Callie in a short squash match, defeating her with, of all maneuvers, Gail Kim's finishing move, Eat Defeat. So obviously sending a message to Gail saying that I can do your move better than you. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with this whole situation. And then, of course, that brings us to the main event, which was a no disqualification match between Impact World Champion Johnny Impact and Killer Kross. This one was decent. It was okay. The ending saw Moose, Killer Kross's tag team partner, friend, getting involved and costing Johnny Impact the match. Johnny Impact, near the end of the match, would look like he was going to finish off Killer Kross. He had a chair. He climbed up to the top rope. Moose would come out and push Johnny off the top rope and sending Johnny Impact through a table that was on the outside of the ring. He would then roll Johnny back into the ring, and Kross would lock in the straitjacket, chokehold, or submission to finish Johnny Impact off. And that was pretty much it for this matchup. Sorry, guys, I'm getting a little bit of a cold. I'm not feeling too good right now, so I'm sorry if I'm coughing a lot in this video. But Killer Kross picked up the win on last night's premiere episode on the Pursuit channel in the main event over Johnny Impact. Obviously putting himself in title contention, as well as sending a message to Johnny that you don't have the mean streak to beat him. So overall, I thought it was a really good debut for Impact on the Pursuit channel. They did announce a couple of matches for next week. I know, before I forget, I know one other segment featured Eli Drake and Eddie Edwards in a backstage interview that Eddie was doing. Eli interrupted, talked about the whole hardcore stuff that been going on, how he took out Tommy Dreamer, he took out Abyss. So, but that was pretty much it. Everything, that was pretty much everything that happened on last night's episode on the Pursuit channel in their debut. So, my overall thought, I thought it was a really good show. I did enjoy the tag match with the Lucha Brothers and the Rascals. So, with that in mind, this has been my Impact Wrestling recap for last night's episode of Impact Wrestling. As always, I am Brian, and thank you for watching.